Welcome back. A grassroots campaign called Reclaim Idaho hopes to get Medicaid expansion added to the November ballot, and they have quite the challenge ahead of them to do so.
Need 56,000 signatures.
Well, they've collected 20,000 so far. This week they are focusing on Coeur d'Alene for a few thousand more. Expanding Medicaid by ballot has only been done in one other state, Maine. Well, now Reclaim Idaho hopes their state will be next. The measure calls for expanding Medicaid to include everyone under 65 whose adjusted gross income is 133% of the federal poverty level. Now that works out to be about $16,000 for a single person or about $33,000 for a family of four if they are not eligible for coverage under the state plan. KXY4's Caroline Flynn working for you. And Caroline, how do they hope to get all of this done?
Well, when Reclaim Idaho launched their effort, skeptics said their biggest hurdle would be getting signatures in the dead of winter. So they've thought outside of the box to make it happen with pizza parties, neighborhood crawls to get signatures instead of a pub crawl, the Medicaid mobile bus, and barbecues in the snow.
It isn't your typical cookout. Along with burger buns, there are shovels, heaters, and blankets.
I have 6 little warmers on my body in different places to stay warm.
Rebecca Schroeder, who's running for a seat in the Idaho State House, said snow, wind, and cold temperatures are no match for the volunteers with Reclaim Idaho. They're hoping their determination will inspire others to join the movement. They need 56,000 signatures to put the question of Medicaid expansion on this year's ballot. For most of the volunteers, the fight is a personal one.
I have a child that has cystic fibrosis. That's a rare genetic disease. And more than half of children with cystic fibrosis depend on Medicaid as a vital source of insurance coverage.
For co-founder Luke Mayville, it started that way too.
My own mother was diagnosed with cancer, and within the first year, she had $30,000 in out-of-pocket expenses.
Mayville says close to 80,000 Idahoans live in limbo, making too much to qualify for Medicaid, but not enough to afford health insurance on the state exchange. With this information, the cause has become much more important to him.
For these people, they end up going without health care. It's often a question of whether should I get a third job in order to afford health care, or should I instead go without health care and live in fear that the moment I get sick, I might lose my house.
He says the group is on track to meet their goal, all because of passionate people around the state like Rebecca.
No one plans on that diagnosis. No one plans on getting cancer or heart disease, or, this is something that is a safety net.
Reclaim Idaho is hoping to bring down the number of people who are currently uninsured in the state. Idaho's Governor Butch Otter recently announced a plan to lower insurance premiums so more people could afford coverage in the marketplace. Reclaim Idaho says this plan has coverage problems and thinks instead the state should focus on closing the insurance gap to get everyone affordable insurance. In studio, Caroline Flynn, KXLY4 News.